Attention, all stations. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Bonsoir, tout le monde, et bienvenue. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu, VA3 CJZ, opening the weekly amateur radio exchange group Simplex Net, also known as AREG, for Wednesday, April 10th, 2024. This week is 1,595 times that AREG has been on the air consecutively. My name is Chuck, and my station is located in East Hamilton. This net is on every Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. and ending at 10 p.m. local time here on 146.430 megahertz. And since this is a simplex net, not everyone will be able to hear everyone else. So I also stream the net on YouTube. So people who tune in can hear stations they cannot hear on their radio. And they can hear how their audio sounds on the air, see their signal strength, as well as see my station layout. And just type my call into the YouTube search box, again, VA3CJZ, and look for us live tonight, or we'll be under the title AREG Week 1595. And we finally ask that you please leave a 1 to 2 second delay between transmissions to allow others to break in. May I now have check-ins for this week's AREG?
Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey.
I'm Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Papa Golf.
V3 KKP, time sensitive.
Okay, we got 3 stations there, IMW, WPG, and KKP, time sensitive. Go ahead, Kevin.
Thanks. I'm really not time sensitive. I just want to get ahead of Mac. No, I got to run. I just wanted to throw a bean your way to the pod there, Chuck, and good evening to you and everyone on that. And I shall return a bit later, but just in case I forget or don't, I wanted to make sure I got my bean in there.
Copy that. You are the first bean rattling in my pot. Thanks, Kevin, and good luck wherever you're going. Thanks again.
All right, no problem. Have a good one.
All right, so now let's go up to Mac, VA3IMW. Mac, I heard your counterpart today. Come on in.
Oh, QSL, yeah, I worked VE3WMI as well.
Yeah.
Nice and loud coming out of the Niagara region. And Kevin's got to run. We better get some video footage. Anyways, I was a little concerned because we didn't hear either Rick or George in there. So that has me somewhat concerned. Anyways, yes. Whenever I see VE3WMI on the spotting page, I know I've got to tune over there real quick and work them. It's always nice to have a quick QSO with him as well, which we did. Other than that, I snuck outside today and threw up my solar panel, connected it to my battery, and I made a bunch of contacts over my lunch period on 40 and 20 and 17 meters for POTA. I was almost tempted to run over to Guelph Conservation Area and get in a quick 20-minute activation, but I thought better of it. I didn't want to get caught over there and not get away in time to get back after lunch. Anyways, you're sounding mighty fine down there, Chuck, and I'm sure that, I'm certainly hoping that the regular folks down from the north end there are going to be able to come in and say hello to us. Really concerning. 2 weeks in a row, Rick hasn't been number one.
Yeah, actually, I think Rick was a late check-in last week, and there was a no-show the week before. There's a few people that were normally regulars that have missed a net here and there, but that's okay. We shall carry on nonetheless. And you're sounding good as well there, Mac. Nice strong signal into my radio here at the Center Mall. Oh, yeah, by the way, remember mentioned my 40-meter antenna wire fell down, the one leg pointing south. And it has to be at least a week, maybe 2 weeks uh, that I've had that I've been operating the radio that way. And so I was wondering why I was having trouble um, tuning the bands, and so now I have my answer. So yeah, the paracord that I used finally gave way, and so I used some Dacron this time, and the other leg I'm going to be doing the same thing. Um, I know it's been nice out, but I'm gonna have to wait till it gets nice again and go and replace that one. That requires a bit of ladder work, so we'll make sure and get that weatherproof line up in the air. So right now, the 40-meter antenna is back to a flat top.
All right, QSL, and just remember when you're up on the ZOE frequency, you got to have your duplex turned on. It was nice having that little conversation amongst the three of us. I know Bill could hear you, but
Yeah.
I could hear you, and yeah, I guess there was a number of other folks that couldn't when you checked in on the repeater output side. Anyways, speaking of nice weather, yesterday afternoon was so gorgeous. Sun shining down, 23 degrees. Stopped on my way home at Beverly Swamp and activated that park. And 25 contacts in 25 minutes, easily activated, and then on my way home. So it was a nice diversion. Kind of nice to have a couple of parks scattered hither, skither, and yon. And we'll see how that goes. Anyways, we're in for some big news. Ford Motor Company has notified us that the project that we've been working on has been delayed for 2 years. So we're all kind of scratching our heads to try and figure out what we're going to do for 2 years. So we're already making arrangements to move some resources to other projects in the meantime. I'm not sure what's going to happen to me, but I'm sure all will go well. I'm told that nice people know of my importance. That was the message I got from somebody. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, Chuck, won't tie it up. I will be along for the ride for the duration. Roger.
Okay, very good, Mac. Well, thank you so much. We will get back around to you. And let's go and say hello to Chris, VA3 WPG. Come on in, Chris.
Good evening, everybody. Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Papa Golf. So not much radio for me today. Haven't had the HF on today. First bit of 2 meters today, or VHF, UHF today. Acting much better this week than last week. I barely had a copy on anybody. Your S this week, so that's 2 meters is working nicely again, and I had you yesterday on the input of the repeater at S7. So good signal down here on UHF as well. Other than that, you mentioned you were going to possibly be doing some experiments with the Eclipse, setting up a camera and possibly watching outside. And I was wondering if you did that and how that went, if you did. I know Bill did 40, and I think you were saying you were possibly going to do 10 or 20.
Yeah, that idea went out the window. I got excited because our daughter came over to visit us for the event and kind of threw my my plans sideways. But nonetheless, it was a nice surprise, and we just all went outside and experienced the eclipse. I tell you, I was deeply moved during the eclipse. I thought uh, It was so cool, and makes you think on uh, where we are in the in this universe. Pretty crazy stuff. Anyways, yeah. So very good then, Chris. You're sounding good. Full strength over here by the center mall. So good job there. And yeah, so no recording of any bands. Like I said.
Oh, good to hear. I'm making it out there. I'm just doing 3.5 watts according to my meter on the X30. Yeah, it would have been nice if I could have had some peace and quiet watching it, but well, I was at work and everybody was all talking and stuff. So, but hey, that's expected. So, all right. Well, that's all I was wondering now for now. But otherwise, for the time being, let's keep it going and be around for the next what do we call it? The pass around. So for now, I'll throw it back there. VA3 Whiskey Papa Golf.
Okay, very good, Chris. And by the way, Mac, I broke the Parks Hunted number 666 finally after I'd say at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks being stuck. I think having my antenna down didn't help, but I broke that today, as a matter of fact, with a park in North Carolina, Gorges State Park. So now I'm at 667.
Congrats on that, and hopefully there's a few more to follow along behind that. And sometimes having a fix on the antenna makes all the world a difference. Thanks for that, Chuck.
Okay, very good, Mac. I thought you might be interested. Okay, then. So here we are, Wednesday, April the 10th, 2024, with the AREG net, and I'm looking for check-ins for the weekly net. This is VA3 CJZ. Anyone, anywhere, please come now.
V3 Bravo Kilmore.
November Charlie Alpha.
V3 GBD.
Okay, got a couple of doubles in there as well. I do believe Rick VA3AXJ was in there with the other Rick VE3BK, and I got Wade and Golf Bravo Delta. Let's bring in AXJ.
Yep, good evening there, Chuck. And how's everything down your end?
Well, Rick, it's going on, going to be 6 weeks since I had my back procedure, and I am in so much pain. It feels like I didn't even, like I went there for nothing. I'm hoping that clears up, but for now, everyday tasks that involve bending over, and that's pretty much everything, is a little difficult right now. So, not that great. How about yourself?
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. Yeah, same problems here. But I got a big hole in my arm. And I got to get that looked at tomorrow again. I got to go every 3 days down to the VON, and they patch me up, put stuff on it and bandage it up. And all that good stuff. Doesn't hurt. There's no pain to it. So, but it's going to take at least, they said, 6 to 8 months before it's completely healed. Other than that, I got a heartbeat. I went and got my echocardiogram today, and I get that results back on the 10th of May, I think it is. Yeah, 10th of May. Other than that, we're good. We're good. We're doing good.
All right, Rick. Well, I think you and George there, both your ears were burning because Mac had previously mentioned that you and George are usually number one and number two there checking in. So thought it was going to be a really, really slow night. But thanks for checking in, my friend. Sit back, kick back, keep your hands and feet inside the cars at all time, and enjoy the ride.
That's not nice calling George number 2.
poo head.
Okay, Rick, thanks for checking in. Let's say hello to the other Rick, VE3 Bravo Kilo.
Yeah, good evening, Chuck, and everybody on frequency. Nothing really to report. That on Monday night or Monday afternoon, I guess that eclipse was something else to see. That's about all I got for now, and we're listening along.
All right, yeah, very good. Speaking of which, yeah, if anyone has any stories they'd like to tell about their experience with the totality that we had, the total solar eclipse. I know I was hearing Albert, VE3BT, saying, or VA3BT, saying that cars were pulling off on the highway and putting their glasses on and looking up. I could just picture it now. The whole highway is empty. Everybody's pulled over on the shoulder. Crazy stuff. Okay, very good then. Thanks, Rick, by the way, for sending me that DX code of conduct. I think I'm going to try and copy it and put it on the Facebook AREG page, web page that we have. And so I'm going to do that now. And we pretty much have a good bunch of people here, but some people do need to to get reminded of what the code of conduct is on the radio. Very good. Thanks, Rick.
Oh yeah, Roger on that. Yeah, well that's been around for a long time, and that is on the website. So that you can put in DX code of conduct in your Google search and find that. That's where it came from, and it's been around for a long time. So anyway, but that's good for all people that contest or just get on the air.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, there, Rick, I just copied and pasted it onto the AREG webpage. And so anyone is, whoever goes on the page there will see that posted up there. So anything new and exciting? Have you spoken to Art lately at all?
I haven't talked to him for nearly a week, and but anyway, somebody phoned him, and they were supposed to go up there and get him set up, so that would be good. And I don't know if he's on there tonight or not, so I haven't talked to him today. But anyway, I haven't heard from him. And just a reminder to everybody, the third weekend, which will be not this weekend, but the weekend after, will be the Ontario QSO party. So get on there and say hello to your fellow Canadians if you don't do anything else. Whatever band you like, because the bands will be busy with the OQP in Ontario. We're it. So everybody will be looking for the Ontario stations, even the Americans. So anyway, that's something I just thought I should mention it there, Chuck. VEA3 CJZ V3BK.
All right, very good, Rick. Well, thank you for that, and we'll get back to you in a little bit. But first, I want to say hello to all the people who have checked in on YouTube. So far, we've got Wade, Victor Alpha 3, November Charlie Alpha, and he's next up on the list. And before we take him, I also want to acknowledge VE3 IUK, Bill, in Dundas. And Bill has turned a small milestone, 100 park activations. Congratulations, Bill. That's 100 more than what I have. So way to go. And with that, let's bring in Wade, VA3 November Charlie Alpha. And maybe he can tell us a little bit about how it went over at MAC on Monday. Come on in, Wade.
VA3CJZ, VA3NCA. Yeah, good evening, Chuck, and good evening, everybody on net. It was, it was a successful day, I think, on Monday. Bill and I set up a little early because we knew there was going to be a crowd just off of the Great Trail of Canada on the McMaster campus. A segment of the trail does run right through campus, so we set up within 100 foot of where it crosses, and took up a fair amount of lawn space between two antennas and two radio stations. Ran whisper beaconing on one. Transmit for a while, but that was giving us trouble, I think, RFI, so we switched to receive only. But nonetheless, got about 670 whisper recordings, either transmit or receive. I didn't do the logging right though, and so now I've got it in a form that's not ready for sending in to the Solar Eclipse QSO folks at Hamsite. So I'm going to have to do some modification to put that into Cabrillo format. But did a little better on the actual QSO side, on the mostly SSB side with Bill there. We have the ADI file. Work has been crazy since Monday though, so I'm sad to say I'm still working on that, but I'm taking this opportunity while we're here on AREG to put that together. So I got to send that to Bill, who I know is listening. So Bill, the ADI file is coming for Perks on the Air. We did 102 QSOs on sideband on that day. So that was good. Lots of people there, though. The field really filled up, and I think we could have done better with some bright high-vis pylons, because we had at least one occasion where somebody, despite us putting a lot of gearboxes and backpacks along our coax, somebody did run through without looking, tripped on the coax. She was okay. The radio was ultimately okay, but it did take a tumble off the table. It only happened once. So other than that, no other close calls. But it's all in all a very a good outing. I'm glad Bill was with me, and also, it was good to be out there with all the energy of all the people out there to see the eclipse. And it really got dark for the few minutes we were out there. Anyways, I'm at a risk of my radio yelling at me for timing out, so I'll send it back to you, VA3NCA. Back to you.
All right, very good. Yeah, no repeater timeout here. Only the radio times out. Very good, Wade. Well, congratulations. Sounds like he was successful, and it was pretty freaky. It felt like there was a lens over my eyes that was changing the color on everything there. It was just crazy. But anyways, thanks for sharing, Wade. And oh, by the way, before I go to George, I think I heard someone say that you locked your laptop and your keys in your office.
Yeah, that was the second embarrassing thing to have happen after we were all done and packed up. Rather than carrying all of the gear back, I just walked it across the lawn with the help of Ed and Bill there, and moved it into my office. And then I stepped out the door, pulled it behind me, and as it's closing, I realized my keys, including my house keys, but that's fine. We have other ways to get in, and there were people home, so they were sitting on my desk, so I could see them from the window, but I couldn't get them. So the radio had to spend the night in the office, and I came back in on Tuesday when I came back to work, and had to do the walk of shame down to the place where we keep the building master to get my door opened. But we got the door open. I collected my keys from my desk, and I sat down and did a work day on Tuesday. So in the end, it worked out. But it's I haven't done that in a long time, but I have done it before. So most of the campus's swipe cards, which are usually in the pocket on my phone, so I never usually lock it out. But the actual offices themselves are still keys, and subject to me leaving them behind when I lock the door.
Yeah. I keep a house key, a spare house key in my wallet in case for some reason I lose my keys and I make it back home. I can get in. So, but it happens. All right, Wade. Well, thanks for checking in. Much appreciated, sir. And we'll get back to you in a little bit. And thanks for watching us on YouTube. For those just tuning in, just type in VA3CJZ in the YouTube search box, and you can listen to us live tonight. And so with that, let's move down to George, VE3 Golf Bravo Delta. George, come on in.
Not much to report there, Chuck. Wade was coming in really staticky. Could hardly hear him. I could hear him, but barely. Other than that, not much to report there, Chuck.
All right there, George. Well, if you've got a oh yeah, you're very computer illiterate. I was going to say that's the whole reason why I stream the net on YouTube, so that people that can't hear others can actually hear what I hear on the YouTube stream there. So, anyways, you're coming in very good there, George. Of course, as always, full strength, nice, clear, loud audio. And by the way, George, I already got my garbage out, so I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get my garbage rounded up and get it out. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm only running on half power right now. Everybody says when I'm on full power, it's just too much. But other than that, yeah, no, everybody comes in except Wade. I don't know. That was just really crackly and. Other than that, no, everything's good. I can hear everybody. So far, so good. V3GBD. Back to net control.
Okay, George. Well, thanks again for checking in and helping put beans in the pot. And so we'll get back to you in a little bit there, my friend. Let's see who else is out there would like to join us here on the weekly amateur radio exchange group. This is VA3CJZ. My name is Chuck, and I'm located here in East Hamilton. Any check-ins, please come now.
VE3ZJC.
VA3XLJ.
Okay, we've got two more there, Zulu Juliet Charlie and X-Ray Lima Juliet. Let's say hello to Jason. And sorry to hear about what happened to you there, my friend. Come on in.
Good evening, Chuck, and everybody else on frequency. Yeah, it's been a rough radio week for me. Let's start with the fun stuff. So, got back on Monday from my trip to Texas and had a good 3 park activations down there. So another state done. Weather was beautiful. Trip was good. Did lots of stuff and had a really good time. And then the radio woes started. So after my 3rd activation, the radio decided to call it quits and no longer wants to transmit anything. So there's 0 power output at all. It's really frustrating. So it's going to go back through DX Canada back to ZU to get repaired, and I'll be 2+ months without my little QRP rig. And then the other one was, despite my best efforts, don't leave deliveries to days when you're not home, because it literally took an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes from the time stuff was delivered to my house, and including a mod board for the Quanchang and a new Pac-12 to be pilfered off my porch. So I was a little perturbed when I got home. So yeah, good times all around. Dead radio, stolen radio equipment. I'm having a blast over here, Chuck. Back to you.
Canada Post Flex Delivery.
QSL, I got that set up after the fact, unfortunately.
Good stuff.
Yeah, there you go. That's the thing, eh? If you're not going to be home and it shows up unexpected like that, that sucks. I know with Amazon, you're usually it's almost certain when they say it's going to show up, tomorrow or Wednesday or whatever, right? Uh, that's when it'll come, unless they have unforeseen circumstances, and that way, if you know you're home, it's no big deal. I always I always make sure and get the packages within minutes of getting them when I'm home, because even though I'm home, doesn't stop anyone from running up the porch and grabbing whatever they want and taking off. So uh, yeah, that's really tough news for Jason this week. Radio craps out and radio gear gets stolen. So are you going to be able to recoup the cost? Can you just tell him it never came, or are you just going to bite the bullet on this?
Yeah, I'm going to try to not bite the bullet. So I've started communications with the seller through AliExpress. And I said, it says it was delivered, but it's not on my porch and I don't have it. So where do we go from here? And they came back with, dear friend, it is in transit. Be patient. So they haven't acknowledged that it's been delivered. So we'll see what happens. Worst case, I bite the bullet and buy another one, and this time I'll have it sent to the Flex Delivery virtual PO box. So in case anybody else is out there, it's a free service from Canada Post. It doesn't cost you a thing. Might save you getting stuff pilfered off your porch. Other than that, Chuck, it is what it is. Such is life. Not much you can do about it. I will send it back to you, and we'll get Bonnie in there behind me.
Okay, very good, Jason. Well, I was gonna say welcome back, but I will anyways. Welcome back, and hopefully your trip was a success up until the point the radio died. Okay, so let's move on and say hello to Vanya, Victor Alpha 3, X-Ray Lima Juliet.
VA3 CJZ VA3 XLJ. Hello, Chuck, and everybody on net. So I don't know how far I go from here, but at least till end of the city, anyways. So I activated the park today. It was good. I have like some 60 contacts, actually 61. And I was kind of happy. Like it started very slow. I was thinking like it's gonna be one of those activations when I roll out for an hour for like 12 contacts or something like that. But it picked up quick, and I was paper logging. So for some reason in a this car what I have now, like I just cannot get in a flow to talk on radio and write at the same time. I don't know. Something is missing, but we're gonna figure out eventually. I know what's missing, the shifter handle on the floor, but you have a button. Here is what it is. So that's today. Or what else? And on a Monday, son and I, we went to the Fort Erie, like in Danville, over there somewhere, and we watched the sun eclipse, and it was interesting. I didn't activate the park successfully, but I did made one contact during eclipse with V3 THR, and I'm kind of happy for that. So I put the log in that's just one QSO, so we can get the credit for the QSO and for the park. Other than that, like my son was a spook for like a day or two yesterday and day later with the sun eclipse, and then now kind of he's on his tablet he will tap a sentence or two, like how the moon and sun got all the thing wrong, and it shouldn't be like that. But other than that, I think I timed out my radio too.
Beautiful. I love it. No problem there. We caught most of that, Vanya. Just you just dropped at the end there, so I got most of that. And by the way, during the eclipse, you were also able to see the planet Venus and Jupiter. I forget which was where, but one was to the left, and the other one was to the right, a bit down. And so both those planets were visible uh, during the daytime. So that was pretty cool. And for those of you who don't know, yeah, those were two planets on either side of the moon and sun. Okay, Vanya. Well, yes, I heard you. You were sounding great. I forget, was it 20 meters or 40? But you were coming in really good.
Yeah, it was a good day today with the signal. Not that much noise, and other than one or two station, everyone was coming in fairly well. So I didn't struggle much with my ears to try and pick out where was it other when I have like two or three people talking on top of each other. But that's just the way it goes, and yeah, but yeah. I don't know. Did I got lucky today, or just conditions they kind of fit in place just right?
Yeah, right on, right on. 60, 61 contacts. Very good, very good. Okay, Vanya, are you going to stick around or are you going to take off?
Oh no, I'm gonna stick around. I might not hear everyone, but I'm kind of typing the login and listening what's happening on the net, and I'll stick around till the end.
Okay, sounds good, Vanya. Thanks for checking in, my friend. Much appreciated. And so with that, we'll clear with VA3XLJ and see who else is out there would like to check in with us here on the weekly amateur radio exchange group. This is VA3CJZ.
V3PDL.
Oh, VE3PDL. Oh, I guess you got your radio repaired. Welcome back, Paul.
It wasn't broken, just my memory is.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So what's happening, Paul? What's new? Did you watch the eclipse?
Yes, sir. Me and the wife were out back with the goggles on there and watched it. I saw the first one too, so I won't see another one in my lifetime. That particular type, anyway. But that's okay. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, and the media made sure to remind everyone that President Trump in 2017, during the eclipse they had in the States, he decided to look straight up at the sun like a real tough guy.
Hercules.
Yeah, glasses. We don't need no stinking glasses. Yeah, I can see just fine.
Comment.
Go ahead, comment.
Funny enough that you mentioned is I believe that I posted the 3 minutes read of my QSO with the THR. So leading to the QSO is at the very end, like last, let's say 30 seconds. There's a gentleman, and I kind of cut the transmission while I was scrolling or tuning up and down the band, and he said the same thing. He went outside the last time when they had the eclipse, and he looked at the sun, and it worked out well for him for a couple of days after that. So you know what? Probably it happens more often than you think.
Yeah. Well, I know that once the totality happened, and the moon started to move, or we did, or you know what I mean, when the moon moved out of the way, or we did, the Earth. I just started to see a glint of the sun, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to put my glasses on because." Yeah, you could see better too. So I took some. I took actually pictures with my phone. I put the. I had a spare pair of glasses, and I put the lens of the eclipse glasses on top of the camera, and I took pictures and video. So I think I'll post that a little bit later.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I just wanted to mention that that the guy I catch it just by accident. That he mentioned that he looked at the sun last time too. Anyways, back to you, Chuck.
Yeah, well, some people. That's all I can say. Anyways, Paul, what's new and exciting with you?
Not too much. Not too much. Still getting over this cold. Yeah, couple more days. I'm thinking, hoping, should be good to go.
Yeah, that's. I can tell you sound a little nasally there, or congested. I had since October. I think I had 2 colds, maybe even 3 this season there. So not a good one in that regard. So yeah, well, now that the warm weather is warmer weather is upon us there, it's not going to stay like that for that long. Maybe for a week. And oh, by the way, there's a special weather advisory. If you guys have any plants or flower pots that you put outside, they're going to get drowned in the next 2 days. There's a special weather statement saying we're going to get a ton of rain. So if you have anything outside that you don't want drowned, bring it indoors. Anyhow, Paul, I do want to say thanks for remembering to check in before 10 o'clock this time. So I do appreciate it.
Yeah, plus last Wednesday I got an excuse anyways, because I was really under the weather then and in bed by this time.
Yeah. Well, when your body tells you that's it, that's it. Everything else has got to wait. So very good then. All right, Paul. Well, thanks again. And whether you decide to stick around or come back later, always a pleasure, sir. We'll have to come up and visit you soon.
Yeah, and that video clip I sent you, good. It's good. So yeah, if you have need of that this year, then there you go. Stick it in your favorite somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. That was a good video, and I didn't know. I didn't know that was how you tell the difference between male and female. So that was very interesting. Thanks.
Yeah, it saves you from growing up a transgender plant.
Yeah, we don't want any of those. Yeah, we're not going to go there, but absolutely, I'm with you 100%.
Copy that, sir. All right, well, thanks for picking me up there, Chuck. You always do a good job, so keep up the good work, sir. And yeah, if I'm okay to chime in later, yeah, it's 8:45. I should be up a little while longer. So yeah, maybe I'll throw another comment or two in there at certain points. But anyway, I'll let you get back to it, sir. V3PDO.
Okay, very good. So we'll clear with Paul and see who else is out there would like to join us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group, AREG. This is VA3CJZ. Anyone, anywhere, please come now.
V3FJJ.
VE3FJJ. Flynn. Haven't heard you check in via the radio in a long time. I'm guessing you got yourself another radio.
Yeah, I got myself another setup and just been busy working a lot and, just trying to take care, instead of eating hot dogs, eating steak.
Oh, well, I'm down to pork and beans and cut up hot dogs. So Yeah, it's so funny. Speaking of food, I got to say this. I asked my wife the other day when she went for groceries, I said, get me some beans. And what did she bring home? A can of bean medley. You know, it had red kidney beans and black eyed peas. And I said, no, a can of beans. Oh, she goes, oh, you meant brown beans. I go, listen, when somebody says they want beans, they want those brown beans, you know. But anyways, well, good for you eating steak and working hard and got yourself another setup. You're coming in full strength there, Flynn. So you're doing a good job.
Well, thanks there, Chuck, and I just want to say hello to everybody out there, and yeah, I just thought I'd throw a bean in the pot, but I'll let you get back to seeing everyone else, and if you want, give me a shout, I'm here, so.
Good hearing you in there, Flynn, V3PDL.
Oh, Mr. PDL, what's going on there, my brother? Haven't heard you in a while. Good to hear your voice. But yeah, thanks, Paul, and hey, we'll have to get together there soon.
Yeah, man. Anytime you're around, I'm here.
Good to hear. Good to hear. All right. Well, I'm going to let you get back to the net there, Chuck, but I will be here. So if you give me a shout, I will definitely return with a comment or anything. So, all right, Chuck, I'll let you get back to the net.
Absolutely there, Flynn. I will get back to you for a second round for sure. But in between, if we need to call you or someone else does, we're pretty easygoing here. So, and don't forget, for those who've just tuned in, we stream the net on YouTube. Just put in my call sign in the YouTube search box. Again, VA3CJZ, and you can look for us live there tonight. As this is a Simplex Net, not everyone can hear all the stations. And so on YouTube, you'll be able to hear what I hear, as well as see signal strength and hear the audio and all that stuff. Okay, so with that, we'll clear with VE3FJJ. And let's see who else is out there would like to join us here on the weekly Amateur Radio Exchange Group Net. Please come now. All right, well, I guess this is a good time as any to go through the contests that we have coming up. We do have a few of them, actually. CW contest is the first one, the JIDX CW contest, and that's for CW, of course, 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. I know there's a few people that have gotten into the CW part of amateur radio. So there's also another one called the SKCC Weekend Sprintathon, and that's for 6 meters, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160, again on CW. Next, we have the OK, I'm assuming that's Oklahoma, /OM DX contest for sideband. And that's for 10 meters, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. Again, the OK/OM sideband contest. Next, we have the Yuri Gagarin International DX contest. Yuri Gagarin was the first man in space, and he's Russian. So that is for CW and sideband, and the bands includes satellites, 10 meter, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. Again, the Yuri Gagarin International DX contest. And let's see what's next. We have a digital QSO party, DIG QSO party, and that's for CW. Then we have the New Mexico QSO party. It's only for several hours. It's not a full day. It's more like 12 hours. And then we have the Africa FT4 DX contest, and that's going to be only for 3 hours. And that's on FT4, And the bands are 20, 40, and 80. Next, we have the Georgia QSO Party. For sideband and CW, the bands are 6 meter, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. Again, the Georgia QSO Party. And then we have the North Dakota QSO Party. And that will be also for, that is for CW, phone, and digital, which includes RTTY and /PSK. And the bands are 2 meter, 6, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160. And finally, just for RPAD, we've got the Hungarian straight key contest for CW, and that's for 80 meters only. And so if you want any more information, just open up your web browser and type in contestcalendar.com, and you can see all the contests that are on, as well as the rules, links to the rules, and so on. So again, for more info, type in contestcalendar.com. Does anyone have any announcements that they'd like to make or remind anyone of something coming up this weekend there? Please come now.
VA3NCA comment?
Oh, it's ant season. The ants are coming in. Got to keep that window closed. Okay, VA3NCA. Wade, come on in.
VA3CJZ, VA3NCA, yeah. Just a reminder to people, it's not this coming weekend, but the following weekend will be the Spring Support Your Parks weekend for POTA. So, for a reminder, that's the third full weekend of every season. So in this case, it's coming up in April 20th and the 21st. That's Zulu time. If you activate a park, you get an award. If you hunt on that weekend, you get an award. So if you do both, then you get 2 awards. So just a reminder to get out and, if you're so inclined, get out and activate a park. But at a minimum, make a park contact on that weekend and collect a little bit of photo wallpaper. That's it for me there, Chuck. I'll send it back to you. VA3NCA.
All right, very good then, Wade. So that'll be next weekend, not this weekend. And speaking of wallpaper, I made a joke to my wife, and she got nervous when I told her. I said, maybe I should put all my awards on the wall here and like wallpaper. And she said, oh, God, no. Yeah, when you start accumulating some of these awards there, it adds up, let me tell you. And especially if you're using a printer and printing them all off, it'll cost you a few bucks with ink. Okay, Wade, well, thank you very much. Anyone else with any reminders or questions or check-ins for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group, please come now. This is VA3CJZ.
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Romeo Foxtrot, Chuck.
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Romeo Foxtrot, Chuck. Come on in.
Hey, Chuck, Vern here. Believe it or not, I'm not out walking. I'm back at the house. What a nice day today, though. I was out for quite a bit of it, and I guess we're going to get some rain tonight, as you mentioned earlier. So, yeah, if you've got stuff that you don't want to get drenched or soaked, bring it in tonight. Hope you had a good day, Chuck.
Absolutely, absolutely. We had a little bit of excitement there. I guess there was an assault a couple of doors down, and by the time my wife heard some commotion, it was pretty much over. But then we had the police going door to door, looking at people with security cams, and they came knocking on our door there, and had to show them what I had on my camera. So that was our excitement for today. But other than that, a very nice day. It got so warm in the house that, let's see, it went up to 74 degrees in the house, and I've got the furnace set at 71. So the shingles did get warm and warm up the house a little bit there. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, no, the weather was great. I actually, this evening, I'm not going to turn it on yet, but I uncovered the air conditioner. I usually put some stuff over it to protect it during the winter, and I'm like, oh, maybe we'll need it.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking the exact same thing. I've got mine wrapped up. Actually, we've been here 6 years, and this is the first winter I've actually wrapped it up. We had enough of freezing in our kitchen, which is where the window unit is. And last fall, I said, nope, nope, I'm going to cover it up. And you know what? It made a big difference. And so I've also got tape on the inside, that red, what do they call that? Uh, Tuck tape, I think it's called. And man, is that ever sticky. And so I covered up the inside portion of where the air conditioner has those little accordion vents there. I covered all that up because the cold and the hot air get in through there. So it should make a really good difference this summer, um, when it gets blazing hot. So I haven't cut away my covering yet, but I'm thinking, well, it won't happen in the next 2 days, but maybe on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to be prepared. I haven't uncovered the patio furniture yet, though. I figure I'll let this rain pass and then maybe I'll uncover it. Although, I don't know, maybe I should uncover it and it'll get a good wash.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yep, yep. Well, mine's pretty much covered up, so whatever grime and grit and dirt is going to be on the exterior. So I think I'll be okay with that. Anyhow, Vern, you're sounding great, my friend. I think you're full strength into my station here at the Center Mall. Great audio, so I can tell you're not walking.
Yep, using the Yaesu 7800. I think on, what am I on, 2 meters? I'm not even sure. It probably puts out like 30 watts.
Oh yeah, yeah, very good. So it's doing the trick for you all the way over here by the center. So very good then. Well, thanks for checking in, Vern. I do appreciate it, sir. Do you have anything else for us?
Nope, that's it for now. I kind of feel like I have the same setup as Bill does. My little mag mount is just sitting here on the windowsill. So I'm glad it's working, and I'll be listening along. I'm just working on the computer right now, so I will be around for round 2. Back to you, Chuck.
Okay, sounds good. And before we go on, I'd like to say hello to VA3 Alpha Lima United, Al. Thanks for checking in on YouTube, Al. And guess who made an appearance? And that would be VA3VJC, North End Richard. Good evening, Richard. Welcome back. And I hope everything is going well with you, my friend. Thanks for checking in. When are you going to get a radio? Those Quan Shangs are like $30. So maybe I'll buy one for you and you can give me the money. So thanks for checking in there, Richard. Okay, I wasn't waiting for him to key up because he's on YouTube. So if you want to say hello to Richard, Mr. North End Richard, he's on the YouTube stream, and he's saying he's working QRP 2 watts on 10 meters. Well, there you go. At least you've got a radio to use for HF. I'm using QRP as well there, Richard. I think I blew the finals in my radio, and I'm just using the pre-drivers. So there you go. All right. So with that, we'll put you in the log, Richard and Al. So we're up to 15 check-ins. And so let's see who else is out there would like to check in with us here on the weekly AREG net. Please come now. Okay, nothing heard. It is currently 8:59 p.m. and the temperature outside the CJZ studio is currently 15.8 degrees. Hope that's accurate. That's very nice for 9 o'clock at night. And so with that, I guess we're going to start some trivia, and then on this day, Is that okay with you all? All right. Let's start off with beavers. I didn't know this, but beavers have plenty of amazing features that help them thrive, including webbed feet and a powerful tail. We all know that. But the large rodents, well, by the way, beavers are in the rodent family, if you didn't know. But the large rodents also have transparent eyelids so that they can shut their eyes and still see underwater. Geez, I wish I had that. Oh, but then again, people would see my eyeballs while I'm. So that's interesting. Okay, let's see now. What's my next one? I've got a couple of other good ones here, but I'm jumping. Okay. All right. So those who suffer from kumpunophobia will do their best to avoid anything and everything to do with buttons. Looking at them, touching them, wearing clothing affixed with them, even thinking about them. If you suffer from this affliction, you're repulsed by buttons of every shape, size, and color and material. According to The Guardian, it suggests that one in 75,000 lives with this phobia. I've never heard of that. That's crazy. All right, so let's let's go back to YouTube there. And I see Richard is typing away furiously on our YouTube stream, and he's talking about, oh yeah, the teeth. That's right. The teeth on a beaver continuously grow. That's why they have to chew on wood to keep their teeth from growing. If their teeth grow too long, they won't be able to eat. So there you go. All right, very good. Let's see what other tidbit of information I can find here. A cloud weighs around 1,000,000 tons. A cloud typically has a volume of around 1 kilometer squared and a density, yeah, or whatever. Okay. Giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people. True, there are only 5 well-documented fatal lightning strikes on giraffes between 1996 and 2010, but due to the population of species being just 140,000 during this time, it makes for about 0.003 lightning deaths per 1,000 giraffes each year. This is 30 times the equivalent fatality rate for humans. Oh, and did you know this? Identical twins don't have the same fingerprints. You can't blame your crimes on your twin, after all. This is because environmental factors during development in the womb, including the umbilical cord length, position in the womb, and the rate of finger growth, impact your fingerprint. Interesting. All right. Earth's rotation is changing speed. It's actually slowing. The Earth is slowing. This means that on average, the length of a day increases by around 1.8 seconds per century. So, according to these guys, 600 million years ago, a day lasted just 21 hours. The largest piece of fossilized dinosaur poo discovered is over 30 centimeters long and over 2 liters in volume. Believed to be a Tyrannosaurus rex turd, the fossilized dung, also named a coprolite, is helping scientists better understand what the dinosaur ate. So let's see what Richard is saying, has to say about that. Oh, Kevin, you learned that watching CSI? Watching what? Identical or twins share 100% of their genes. Interesting.
And T-shirts.
Wet T-shirts. Okay, we won't go there. All right. Animals can experience time differently from humans. To smaller animals, the world around them moves more slowly compared to humans. Salamanders and lizards, for example, experience time more slowly than cats and dogs. This is because the perception of time depends on how quickly the brain can process incoming information. A chicken once lived for 18 months without a head. Mike the chick Mike the chicken's incredible feat was recorded. So Mike the chicken was recorded back in the 1940s. He survived uh, as his jugular vein and most of his brainstem were left mostly intact, ensuring just enough brain function remained for survival. In the majority of cases, a headless chicken dies in a matter of minutes. I can say that with certainty as I helped slaughter 21 turkeys one Christmas season. That was interesting. Out at the farm with an axe and a pot of boiling water and a couple of cases of beer. Boy, that was fun. The oldest dog lived for 29.5 years, while the median age of a dog reaches tends to be about 10 to 15 years. One Australian cattle dog named Bluey survived to the ripe old age of 29.5 years. Wow. And I've heard of old cats too. My next line here says the world's oldest cat lived to 38 years and 3 days old. Cream Puff was the oldest cat to ever live. Okay, let's see now. Octopuses don't actually have tentacles. They have 8 limbs, but their arms, uh, for most species, technically, when talking about cephalopods, octopuses, and squids, scientists define tentacles as limbs with suckers at their end. Octopus arms have suckers down most of their length. All right. Potato, tomato, tomato. All right. Okay. Let's see now. Excuse me. Oh, and comets smell like rotten eggs. A comet smells like rotten eggs, urine, burning matches, and almonds. Okay. Interesting. And for those of you with a sense of humor, people can actually die from laughing. And a number of people have, typically due to intense laughter causing heart attack or suffocation. Comedy shows should come with a warning. Oh my God, this last one here I'm going to do is crazy. Chainsaws were first invented for childbirth. It was developed in Scotland in the late 18th century to help aid and speed up the process of symphysiotomy, widening the pubic cartilage, and removal of disease-laden bone during childbirth. It wasn't until the start of the 20th century that we started using chainsaws for wood chopping. I don't believe that. That's crazy. All right, let's go back here. Richard saying squids too. Major C-section, yeah, with a chainsaw. Can you imagine? Oh my God, that would tear apart skin. Wow. Maybe they had special blades. All right. With that, before I continue on with on this day in history, do we have any check-ins or comments or questions? Please come now. This is VA3CJZ with the weekly AREG net. Please come now.
Ow.
Absolutely. Ow. Is that Debbie?
Yes, VA3OYL.
See, one syllable. I was able to tell. Well, I've got earbuds in, so I hear pretty good. Come on in, Deb, VA3OYL.
A chainsaw? That sounds pretty brutal. Not much went on. I watched the clips from my back deck. Well, neighbors lent me their glasses periodically, so I got to take a peek at it. So it was pretty awesome. And it got so cold out, though. I was sitting out there in my winter jacket. No radio stuff this week. I had an open house here. That went really well. I gave away a lot of art, and I'm happy about that. The friends will enjoy that art. And I'm having my snack right now, so I'll be listening along.
All right, very good, Deb. I don't know how long, excuse me, you've been listening, but I'm just looking on the YouTube live stream there, and Richard Chadwick has joined us. North End Richard, as we all know him and love him, VA3VJC, and he's got another quick-witted reply for your for an acronym there for your call sign. OYL is also obey your lover. That's from Richard.
That one could get me in trouble, though.
Absolutely. I think that's the intent with Richard. You know, he's a little sly little fox.
I couldn't find the button to talk on my mic here. The push to talk on the bass doesn't work, so I have to press it on the microphone itself. Anyway, I did some FT8 tonight, and I contacted a station called 50 from France, but it's F1 IV or whatever it was, something like that. I thought it was pretty neat.
Oh, very cool, very cool. I got one that was a spy, SPY. I thought that was pretty cool. And I also noticed there's a Canadian call sign. I think it's VE3, but the suffix is Royal Canadian Air Force, RCAF. That's one extra digit there, one extra letter.
Yeah, I tried contacting them one day. I saw that come up, but they couldn't hear me.
Yeah, and I couldn't hear him or her, so I just recently found out yesterday that my 40 meter G5RV Junior, the one leg snapped from the rope I had, and it was laying on the ground for about a week or two. So it's no wonder I've been scratching my head wondering why I couldn't tune as easily as I know it's supposed to. So now we're back up to a proper flat top, and it's working good now.
Well, good thing it happened now, not in the dead of winter, because you wouldn't have worked on it. Well, you might have, I don't know, but most people wouldn't have worked on it. So I guess there's somewhat positive news in there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a successful open house and gave away lots of art, and I'm sure it has special meaning for everyone, and I'm glad it went well for you. So thanks for joining us tonight, Debbie. I think you are check-in number 16 tonight. So you're sounding good, as always. And let me remind everyone, if you can't hear some stations, just go to YouTube and put in my call, VA3CJZ, and look for us live. You'll be able to hear the stations that you can't hear on your radio. You'll hear what I hear. So, Debbie, unless you have anything else, we'll do another call out and continue on with the on this day. And so, thanks again. Anything else?
Just to be 16 again. Nothing else. I'll be listening along.
Oh, a lot of trouble back at 16 for me. No, not criminally or anything, but you know what I mean. So we'll clear with VA3, Obey Your Lover, Debbie. And let's see who else is out there. Would like to be check-in number 17 for this week's Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3 CJZ, looking for anyone, anywhere.
VE3 LBI.
VE3 LBI. Larry, come on in.
Yep, we just got here, Chuck. Well, actually, I've been here for a few minutes listening along, so nothing really to report. It's been a couple of beautiful days.
Oh, yeah, hasn't it, eh? I was just mentioning earlier my temperature in the house went up to 74. And of course, we only have the furnace set for 70, 71. And so the shingles got warm and warmed up the interior of the house a little bit there. So as soon as this rain finishes up, I think it's time to cut away the wrapping I have on my window air conditioner.
Yes, you're probably right. Yeah, yesterday we had all the doors doors open, but doors and windows were open. No, the windows were open. It was just a gorgeous day yesterday. So other than that, Chuck, really nothing else to report. So I'll pass it back to you and carry on.
Okay, very good then, Larry. Thanks again for checking in. And I see Richard says that he's is Yaesu FT 3200 is what he's going to try next week, and he found his Hustler Aerial. God, that's so old school, eh? Aerial. My my aunts and uncles and grandparents used to use, instead of saying antenna, they'd say aerial. That's old school. But then again, Richard is a dinosaur. So with that, before we carry on, let's see who else is out there would like to check in with us here on the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3 CJZ. All right, nothing heard. So let's go to on this day, week 163 for me, and we start with today's famous birthdays, April 10th. And we'll start with a lady called Hortense de Beauharnais. That's French. She was born in 1783, and the reason I have her is because she was the Queen of Holland between 1806 and 1810, and she's from Paris. So she was the French Queen of Holland during those times, and I know there are people with Dutch heritage. My wife is one of them. So next, let's go to someone famous, and we'll go with James Bowie. He was born on this day in 1796. James Bowie, also known as Jim Bowie, is an American pioneer and soldier. He was with the Texas Revolution, born in Logan, Kentucky, and he died in 1836 at the Alamo, along with everyone else that was there. Okay, we go a year later to 1797. Claude Ambroise Surratt was born in that year. And he's a Frenchman that was exhibited in England as a human skeleton. And he's also born in France. Next, we have the founder of the Salvation Army, born on this day, William Booth, born on this day in 1829. He passed away in 1912. So that would make him about 83 years old, born in Nottingham, England. He was an English preacher and founder of the Sally Ann. The Salvation Army began its work in London, England in 1865, when William Booth, a minister, abandoned the conventional concept of a church and a pulpit and took his message of hope to the poor, the homeless, the hungry, and the destitute. And for Canada, the Salvation Army began its work in Canada in 1882. That's 17 years later. And that was just 15 years after Confederation, and quickly began giving hope to those in need in this country. And by the way, it was in Toronto. Next, selling a birthday today, he's passed away, but born on this day is Harry Morgan, born in 1915. He's an American actor that was also known as Colonel Sherman Potter on MASH. He was also on Dragnet, if you want to go back a little further, as Bill Gannon in Dragnet. Born in Detroit, Michigan. He passed away in 2011. Some of you may remember this old TV show called The Rifleman. And the lead actor was Chuck Connors. Chuck Connors was born on this day in 1921. They have him listed here as an American author and actor. Of course, he was in The Rifleman, a show called Branded, and Cowboy in Africa. He was also a professional basketball and baseball player. Professional. Oh. Born in Brooklyn, New York. He died in 1992. Chuck Connors was in many movies and TV shows. Next, we've got Max von Sydow, born in 1929 on this day. He's a Swedish actor. He was the exorcist in the original Exorcist movie. He's also been in Dune, Game of Thrones, and yeah, he was born in Sweden. He passed away in 2020. Max von Sydow, the exorcist. The power of Christ compels you. Okay, next we got John Madden. John Madden, born on this day, 1936. Of course, he's an American Pro Football Hall of Fame coach with the Oakland Raiders from 69 to 78. You got the Madden NFL video games. And of course, he was a commentator, sportscaster here. And he was born in Austin, Minnesota. Passed away in 2021. All right, here's one guy who's alive still. Steven Seagal turned 72 years old today. Born in 1951, American actor in many, many B movies. Two of them are called Above the Law and the other Hard to Kill. Born in Detroit, Michigan. Let's see what someone has to say on YouTube there. Okay. Very good. We'll just continue on. Okay, so finally, my last person on my list of famous people born on this day is a Canadian. Born on this day in 1985 is Dion Phaneuf, Canadian ice hockey player born in Edmonton, Alberta. And that's it for famous people born on this day. Do we have any questions or comments or clarifications, or someone would like, or any check-ins for this week's AREG Net? Please come now. This is VA3CJZ. Okay, carrying on. So after birthdays, we have deaths. Famous deaths on April the 10th. And this time we'll go back to the year 1585. We have Gregory the 13th. Now, the reason he's on this list is because he was an Italian pope who introduced the Gregorian calendar in the year 1582, 3 years before he passed away at the age of 83. The Gregorian calendar has been in effect since 1582 until this day. Before that, I think it was called the Julius calendar.
Julian calendar.
Ah, there we go. Julie. See, thank you for that correction. Vern, I do believe. Okay. Next, we have Sam Kinison, passing away on this day in 1992. He's listed here as an American screaming comedian and actor. He was in Back to School and Charlie Hoover. He died in a car crash. At the age of 38. All right, next, passing away on this day in 1999, we have Jean Vander Pill. Now, Jean Vander Pill is also known as Wilma on the Flintstones. She is an American voice, radio, and film actress with the Flintstones. It says here the Jetsons also, but I don't know who she played. She died of lung cancer at the age of 79 in the year 1999. Next, passing away a year later in the year 2000 is Larry Linville. That might sound familiar because he's also another actor from MASH. He was known as Major Frank Burns. He died of pneumonia following cancer surgery at the age of 60. And finally, famous people, the last famous person on my list, passing away on this day a year ago in 2023, we have Al Jaffe. That also may sound familiar to some of you. Al Jaffe was an American comic strip cartoonist and illustrator for Mad Magazine. He dies at the ripe old age of 102. So that was last year on this day. Again, do we have any questions, comments, or clarifications or check-ins for this week's net? Please come now. Okay, it's 9:28 p.m. and temperature is slowly going down. It's currently 15.0. It was 15.8 a while ago. And so now we'll move on to historical events on April 10th in history. And we start off with the year 837. That's right, 837 is the year. And we have Halley's Comet approaches the Earth at 0.0334 astronomical units of Earth. For those of you who don't know, an astronomical unit, or an AU, is the distance between Earth and the Sun. So Halley's Comet approached within 0.0334 astronomical units of Earth. 1516 is the year on this day. The first Jewish ghetto is established, and Venice compels Jews to live in a specific area. So this is in Venice. Seems like every week I have something to say about the Jews, but nonetheless, it's in the history books. Next, the caption says, yes, we have some bananas. In the year 1633, first bananas go on sale in London in the shop window of Thomas Johnson's apothecary, whatever that is, some store. So 1633, bananas come to the UK.
Apothecary, Chuck.
Yeah, what the heck is that?
It's a fancy word for a store. It's the same word that ends up becoming bodega in Spanish. It's just like a store.
Ah, very good. Well, thank you for that clarification. All right. So that was the year 1633 when we've been eating bananas since. All right. Next, in the year 1710, on this day, the first law regulating copyright is issued in Great Britain. This is funny, though, because 80 years later, in the year 1790, the United States patent system forms. So copyright was the first one in 1710, and then the U.S. patent in 1790. All right, next we've got the eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815. Mount Tambora in the Dutch East Indies, also known as Indonesia, experiences a cataclysmic eruption, one of the most powerful in history, killing around 71,000 people and causes global volcanic winter. This is back in 1815. So remember those horrific conditions that they experienced during World War I? The most rain and horrible weather during World War I was probably due to this eruption. Okay, 10 years later, in 1825, on this day, the first hotel in Hawaii opens. It doesn't have a name for it, but nonetheless, that's, almost 200 years ago to the year, 199 years ago. All right, and then in 1841, on this day, the New York Tribune begins publishing under editor Horace Greeley. And then in 1849, the safety pin is patented by Walter Hunt from New York City, and he sold the rights for $400. Now, you got to remember, this is the year 1849, and I think $400 back then is probably worth about $400,000 today. All right, let's go to the year 1858 on this day. Big Ben, a 13.76 ton bell, is recast at the Whitechapel Bell Foundry. Why is it recast? Well, since the tower for the bell was not finished yet, the bell was mounted in New Palace Yard, but during testing, it cracked beyond repair and a replacement had to be made. The bell was melted down and recast on the 10th of April, 1858 at the Whitechapel Bell Foundry. So 13.5 ton bell. In 1861, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or as we call it today, MIT, is established by William Barton Rogers as a private land-grant university in Cambridge, Massachusetts. All right. Now we go to 1878, and we have the California Street Cable Car Railroad Company starting service. Remember the commercials with Rice-A-Roni, the San Franciscan treat, and you see those cable cars? That's what we're talking about. 1878, after the gold rush. And in 1887, United States President Abraham Lincoln is reburied with his wife in Springfield, Illinois. He was assassinated April 15th, 1865. So it's almost that anniversary. Next, we have the first Olympic marathon in 1896. Spiridon Louis of Greece wins the inaugural Olympic marathon in 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 50 seconds in Athens. So these are the first modern Olympics. And he runs the last lap accompanied by Constantine I, who was the king of Greece. All right. In 1912, the RMS Titanic sets sail from Southampton for her maiden and final voyage. We all know what happened to the Titanic. So it sets sail on this day for those who want to know. Ever wonder why I used to see in the movies where people wanting to get married would have to get a blood test? Well, one of the reasons comes from the year 1938, where New York State makes syphilis test mandatory in order to get a marriage license. So they didn't want people to spread syphilis to people unknowingly or knowingly. So that's 1938. And then in 1942, cigarettes and candy are rationed in Holland. Of course, this is during World War II. But fear not, 3 years later in 1945, Canadian troops conquer the city or town of Deventer, Netherlands. That's why the Dutch love Canadians very much. A year after World War II, in 1946, on this day, April 10th, we have the first election for Japanese Parliament. Very first. All right, we're getting there. The year is 1947. Jackie Robinson becomes the first black player of the 20th century to sign a Major League Baseball contract. Brooklyn general manager, this guy's name is Branch, like a tree branch. Branch Rickey announces Dodgers had bought Robinson's contract from the Montreal Royals. There's some trivia for you. Staying with sports, we go to the year 1956. Stanley Cup final, Montreal 4, Montreal, Quebec. Jean Béliveau has a goal and 2 assists as Montreal Canadiens beat Detroit Red Wings 3-2 for a 4-1 series win. And if you were around on this day in 1970, Paul McCartney officially announces the split of the Beatles. I'm sure a lot of young girls and women were crying. Two years later, in 1972, the United States, USSR, and 70 other nations agree to ban biological weapons. Most of us have heard of Penn and Teller. Well, in 1974, magicians Penn Jillette and Teller first meet. That's exactly 50 years ago to the day, 1974. And this next one is a little strange because it says here in 1991, the last Automat, which is a coin-operated cafeteria, closes in New York City, and that's at the corner of 3rd and 42nd Street. But as we all know, the Japanese have them everywhere. Everything comes out of a vending machine now, and I mean pretty much anything. So, anyways, that was the last one in New York, 1991. And sticking with 1991, we have a rare tropical storm develops in the southern hemisphere near Angola. Now, this is the first to be documented by satellites because normally tropical storms develop in the northern hemisphere. That's above the equator. All right, 1996, the fastest wind speed ever recorded that's not a tornado is 408 kilometers an hour. That's 253 miles an hour during tropical cyclone Olivia on Barrow Island, Australia. 250 miles an hour. Wow. All right. In 2012, Apple Inc. claims a value of $600 billion, making it the largest company by market capitalization in the world. All right, let's go to the 2014 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. I'm guessing in 2014, this was a Sunday night. So we have the 29th Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees: Peter Gabriel, Hall & Oates, Kiss, Nirvana, Linda Ronstadt, Cat Stevens, the E Street Band, Brian Epstein, although he was not, he was the Beatles manager. He didn't play music. And these two, this last person I do not know, Andrew Loog Oldham. So there you go. I recognize everyone but this last guy. And only 5 years ago today, in 2019, the first ever photo of a black hole is announced, taken by the Event Horizon Telescope. In 2017, in the galaxy M87, which is, whoa, this black hole is 6.5 billion times the mass of the Earth. And it's only 55 million light years away. Right. And this next one here, still in 2019, new species of human is announced named the Homo luzonensis. The Homo luzonensis. They were only 3 feet tall, and their remains were dated to 50 to 60,000 years old in a cave on the island of Luzon in the Philippines. So we know Asians are generally not very big, but 3 feet tall. Okay, so they found them in a cave. There you go. Okay, this next one is from 2021. I got one more after this one. China orders Alibaba to pay a record fine of 18.2 billion yuan, which equals $2.8 billion US, after antitrust regulations say it has been acting as a monopoly. That's another rich person, the owner of Alibaba. He's right up there as well with the top richest people of the world. I forget his name now. And finally, to add a little bit of funny to this on this day, we'll go with the year 2023. Exactly 1 year ago today, the Dalai Lama apologizes for a video showing him asking a boy to suck his tongue. After widespread criticism, he comes out to apologize over that. Yeah. Okay. So we'll end it on that note. Does anybody have any questions or comments or would like to check in to this week's AREG Net? Please come now. This is VA3 CJZ.
Recheck, Chuck.
Go ahead, recheck.
Hey, Chuck, it's Vern here. I have to drop out soon. I just wanted to say appreciate you doing the net. I did have one comment. You mentioned the jokes possibly being fatal. You may or may not know there was a hilarious Monty Python sketch on that, and it was related to the funniest joke told during World War II, and that it was fatal for opposing troops, and they couldn't share it with their own troops. And I mean, I'll tell you the joke if you want to hear it.
Sure. Let me check my pacer. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Two guys are talking. One guy says, "My dog has no nose." The other guy says, "How does he smell?" The other guy says, "Terrible." I know. Awful joke.
Well, during wartime, I guess anything can be funny, right?
Exactly. Anyway, Chuck, appreciate you doing it. Hope everyone has a good evening. 73 from VA3 CRF.
Okay, Vern, thanks for sticking around as long as you did and for your check-in. And so I guess this will be your 7-3 round. Very good then. Thanks. Anyone else wishing to check with us here on the weekly AREG Net? Please come now. This is VA3 CJZ.
If your dog smells that bag, does it make you up, Chuck?
I don't know, but I like that check-in from Vern. Hang on here. Where is Vern? Yeah, Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Romeo, Foxtrot, Chuck. That's what he said when he checked in.
Yes, we should all use the Chuck suffix.
Yeah, I think I've pretty much heard them all. Over and over. But that's okay. By the way, let's go to the top of the list and say hello to VA3 IMW. Mac, let's do a 7-3 round.
QSL. We've finally uncovered the secret of your success. Your wife loves you because you're Canadian. That's what I heard you say.
Thought I was first.
No, you were time sensitive, but not really sensitive after all.
That's it. Shutting off my radio and I'm going home.
I thought you were home.
No, I'm in front of your house.
I don't think so.
I'm on 2-watt walkie-talkie.
And we didn't get video footage of you running someplace, so never mind. Anyways, yes, I heard you say, Chuck, the Dutch love Canadians because we liberated them. Is that how you wooed your significant other?
That's right. I told her my ancestors liberated their grandmothers.
Yeah, I'll tell you another funny. One of the guys that went to me a couple of times to France for our endeavors, and he always got my humor because one particular day, I don't know what the whole scenario was, but he still remembers and rolls around laughing on the floor because I said something like, don't you know that we liberated you something. Anyways, it was amongst French-speaking people that didn't speak English, but my workmate certainly got the humor there. Anyways, because Kevin's obviously very much in a rush to run off to another place, let me bid you and everybody else on Net 7-3s a great net tonight there, Chuck. and getting close to the pumpkin hour. So I probably won't be hanging around for very much longer. 7-3s to you and everybody else. VA3IMW.
Okay, Mac. Well, thank you so much for that. North End Richards says 73 slick. And actually, he's said a couple of other things too. But oh yeah, the Titanic sank on his birthday, which of course is April 15th. So, Richard, if we don't hear from you by then, happy birthday, you old dog, and can't wait to hear you on the radio. But thank you so much for checking in with us, Richard. And then Bill, VE3IUK, is telling us that the Titanic had 29 boilers and 115 furnaces. Think of all the coal and stokers needed. Yeah, 3 engines, Richard replied. And so you're welcome, Richard. You're going to be the old 7-2. All right, well, I'll say 7-3 then. All right, very good, Richard. Have a good one, my friend. And thank you, Mac. And so let's go to VA3 WPG next. We're going to make Kevin wait.
VA3 WPG, just had the radio cranked up, cleaning up the balcony, disconnected a power cord, and what do you know, the noise on my radio goes away. Problem solved. I have a very extensive DJ system in my living room, a lighting show that could give a bar a run for its money. Out of room on my lighting truss, so I set up a few lights out on my balcony and given City Hall a run for their money on their nighttime light show there. But they're the newer, instead of the older park can stage lights, are those newer LED things. And well, LEDs, problem solved, eh?
Oh, there you go. I'm glad you found what the issue was, and now you know.
Yeah, I guess for the AREG net now, I'll just shut my lights off and flick them back on after the net. But anyways, yeah, we'll keep it going. I really don't have much more for tonight, so I'm going to say 73 to everybody. Have a good evening, and BA3 WPG back to the net.
All right there, Chris. Well, you know, when the AREG net is on, you can always just leave the disco ball going, and that'll help with the ambiance. Very good then. Thanks for checking in with us, Chris. Always a pleasure, sir. Take care. Have a great rest of the week. And next, let's go to Kevin, VE3 KKP. I knew he'd do that. Well, let's go to VA3 November Charlie Alpha 7-3 round. Wade.
Thanks for running it there, Chuck. 73 to you and to everybody else on net. Another great AREG in the books. I'll mention you talked about Halley's Comet and its distance. It's about 5 million kilometers that it's going to come within Earth. An astronomical unit is about 150 million kilometers. The mean difference between distance between the Sun and the Earth. And so 0.334, I think you said, is about 5 million. So close, but close on some scales. But I think we're gonna survive it. I hope. Anyways, thanks again for running it, Chuck. Always look forward to Wednesday, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday, if not before. VA3NCA, back to net control.
All right there, Wade. And 2 more sleeps, and it's the weekend. And so we're always checking out the POTA page to see if any of the locals are out and about, and always try and help out giving them a check-in as well. So thanks again, Wade. Always a pleasure, sir. Have a great rest of the week. Richard is asking Harry's Comet. Oh, did I say that? No. It's Halley's Comet. All right. So let's see who's next after Wade. We have Vanya, VA3AXJ. Are you there, Vanya? 7-3 round.
You got my call sign wrong, but it's okay. I'm gonna pretend that I'm someone else.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna guys give you
XRJ.
7-3. It's a good net as usual. So
Oops.
now that you mentioned Titanic, I believe the one of those restaurants in Niagara Falls, TGIF, and they do have oh my God, I forgot the name now. Anyways, let's call it life preserver or whatever is that round thing like they throw in the water when you are like overboard, and it says on it Titanic. So I don't know is it real or not, but it was over there a little while ago when we went there a lot last time. So anyways, other than that, like that will be all, Chuck. Good net 7-3 guys, and till Friday or next Wednesday. VA3XLG.
Yeah, I mistook your call sign, Richard, and the name. I got it mixed up there. Sorry, Vanya. Well, if that's an original life preserver from the Titanic, I don't know. That'd be worth quite a bit of money, I think. But you never know. Could be the real thing. So, anyways, Vanya, thanks for checking in. I do appreciate it, sir. And again, we also look out for you when you're out and about activating. And yeah, so good luck. And remember, it's going to be raining cats and dogs for the next 2 days, or so they tell us. But so far, they've been wrong about snow and rainstorms and everything else in the last few months. So who knows what we'll get. Anyways, we'll clear with Vanya and let's go to Downtown Rick, VA3AXJ.
Yeah, still here, Chuck. Still good net. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I was dying today to do a barbecue going, and I got so damn busy with appointments that I didn't have a chance. And it's going to rain for the next 2 days. I'm dying for a T-bone steak, But maybe I'll put the umbrella on and the raincoat and the whole bit and go out there and get wet. Cook myself a steak.
Yeah, there you go. We broke in the barbecue first cook of the season just a couple days ago. We had burgers, nice thick burgers, not the thin ones, and it was awesome. I hadn't had a burger in months, and so and on the barbecue, even better. So yeah, Rick, get yourself an umbrella, or you know what we do? We have a what do you call those patio umbrellas? Kind of over the barbecue. And so I can, if it rains really hard, I just slide the barbecue underneath there, and Bob's your uncle. So anyhow, Rick, thanks again for checking in. Much appreciated, sir. You're sounding in much better spirits than you did previously. So glad to hear you feeling more chipper. Have a great rest of the week there, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon. And let's go to the other Rick, North End Rick, VE3 Bravo Kilo. Rick, last round.
Good evening. Well, we'll say 73, I guess, to everybody on frequency. And I'm glad you're barbecuing already. That's good. Anyway, yeah, what was I going to say now? I forget what I was going to say. Oh, boy. Anyway, yeah, garbage. Yeah, my garbage went out today. So you're 1 day behind us, I guess. And last week, my wife thought it was a holiday for the Easter, and so she missed it. She thought it was going out the same day yours went out, but it didn't work out that way. So she ended up with an extra bag. But anyway, yeah, let's see. I was going to make sure the guys check in on Monday night. You don't have to be a club member to check in on our HF net at 8 o'clock on 3.692. And there's a few of the guys that have come on here that haven't checked in recently. So just a reminder. And that's about it. Chuck, enjoyed it again. And thanks for doing it, and thanks for being there. VA3 CJZ, V3 BK.
Okay, Rick, very good. That's right, folks. Don't forget, Rick has the 80-meter net on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. Lately, it's been on 3.692, I do believe. And so, yeah, join in, say hi. And Monday night, 8 o'clock. And also, I wanted to remind folks that on UHF, there's the every Wednesday at 11 a.m. in the morning, there's the Trans-Canada Net on the VE3 UHM repeater. And so I usually try and stop in and say hi there. They go through all the provinces, starting off with British Columbia and working their way east. And then they go back for a second round in case people missed their check-in. And John, I think, in Niagara on the Lake does it. And yeah, 11 a.m. on Wednesday mornings. That's how I know it's net day. Okay, very good, Rick. Thank you so much for joining us and being part of our net. Much appreciated. So let's see if George is still there. VE3 Golf Bravo Delta. George, last round. Okay, let's try Jason. Not sure if he's going to be there. VE3 Zulu Juliet Charlie. 7-3 round, Jason. Okay, we talked to Vanya already. Let's try Paul. VE3 PDL. VE3 FJJ. Flynn, last round. And then that brings us down to Debbie, VA3 OYL.
I'm still here. Good net, Chuck. Sounds like it's going to be a yucky couple of days for walking the dog.
Yeah.
So it'll be quick walks. More time for radio, I guess. Anyway, keep up the good work. I'll say 7-3 to all. Victor Alpha 3, Oscar Yankee Lima will be clear.
All right. Well, time to bring the umbrella out. They're also saying it's going to be windy for the next 2 days, gusting at fairly high speed. So be mindful of that. Try and go out when it's not so windy. And so thank you, Deb. Once again, have a great rest of the week. Thanks for joining us. And so that leaves us with Larry, VE3 LBI. Larry, last round. Okay, well, I would also like to acknowledge everyone who checked in with us on YouTube. Those just checking in, you can watch the net if you go to YouTube. If you missed it, just type in VA3CJZ, and tonight the net is called AREG Week 1595. And 5 more nets will be at 1600. And so I'd like to thank everyone who checked in on YouTube. That includes Richard, VA3VJC. Thanks a bunch, my friend. Happy birthday coming up. And then we have Al, VA3ALU, Bill, VE3IUK, and I almost forgot Wayne B, VA3FMB. He also checked in. And of course, Wade checked in on YouTube as well as through the radio. And if I missed anyone, I'm sorry. But thank you so much for all your check-ins. Let's see if there are any last minute check-ins for this week's AREG net. This is VA3CJZ. Anyone, anywhere. All right. Well, that wraps up another great edition of the AREG Net, the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. It's been my pleasure being net controller for you once again. And I'd love to hear you all again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And tonight we had 17 check ins, including YouTube check ins. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the week. Stay dry. The next 2 days are going to be wet ones, apparently. Until then, 7-3 all. Take care. This is VA3 CJZ saying so long for now.
Victor Echo 3, Charlie Echo Uniform.
Oh, right under the wire, we have Victor Echo 3, Charlie Echo Uniform. Tomash, come on in, Tom. How are you?
Good evening, Chuck. Yeah, I was watching TV downstairs and I totally forgot about the net, but I thought I'd turn the radio on to see if you're still on there. And lo and behold, there you are. Yeah, it's a good evening there, Chuck. Went for a 5-kilometer walk tonight there. And yeah, just wanted to add the extra beans to the pot there. So how are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. You know, the days are getting longer. Sun is coming out more. Yeah, I love it. And tonight, by the way, you're coming in with an S8. Normally you're an S9 or just above. So conditions a little bit dampening our signals tonight, but nonetheless, I can hear you. No problemo.
Yeah, so yeah, anyways, I did turn the radio on earlier there. You guys were talking about the eclipse there. Yeah, I went the backyard there. I was off early on Monday there, off work, and I got to see the eclipse. And of course, I had my famous glasses and stuff like that. And yeah, it's amazing how that eclipse turned out just near the end or the very beginning. Before it even started, it was so cloudy, and then all the clouds went away.
Yeah.
It was actually good timing.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. It's like the sky parted just for us and let us watch the totality of the eclipse. It was mind blowing. I loved it.
Anyways, Chuck, I'm just getting ready to hit the hay, so I'm glad I got the radio out and was able to do a QSO with you there. And so I'll say 73s for now there, Chuck, and we'll catch you again soon on the radio here. VA3 CJZ, V3 CEU, have a good evening. 73s.
All right, you too there, Thomas. And I got to start walking a little bit more there. You mentioned you went for a nice long walk. And I think I overheard you saying you were planning on trying to log 1,000 kilometers on your bicycle this year. So good luck with that. And thank you so much for checking in there, Tom. Take care.
Yeah, I'm up to 35 right now, 35 kilometers, and I'm counting it as I go along. Sure. All right, 73, Chuck.
All right. Well, you'll have to check in earlier next time there and compare notes with our resident cyclist here on the AREG, and that's Wade, VA3 November Charlie Alpha. He's also an avid cyclist, and he logs quite a few kilometers. And so we'll check on him next time with that. Thanks again, Tomas. You are check-in number 18 tonight. And so that will end the net unless we have any other last minute check-ins for this week's AREG. Please come now. This is VA3 CJZ. Okay, that's a wrap. 7-3 all. Take care. Have a great rest of the week. This is VA3 CJZ signing off.